Welcome to the Thought Hackers, the show where you will learn how your mind works and discover how to change your thinking from leading experts and through inspiring stories.
Good day, everyone. My name is Nathan Siegel. I'm here with my colleague Hamish Beeston out of Australia, and we are the Thought Hackers. With us today is a woman by the name of Heidi Crockett. So when a client comes to you, what's the very first thing that you do?
So, and I'm sure Hamish does the same thing. What a person needs to experience is safety.
Yes.
You need to get their limbic brain calmed down so that their prefrontal cortex, so that their social engagement system can come online.
So when you get them to that place of comfort where they're present, they're in their body, what do you do next?
So then what you do is you establish what's called islands of safety.
I'm interested in this islands of safety. I'm sort of picturing that each island has got, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's sort of each island has got a different level of safety and it's moving around to get onto that island. Is that correct?
Yeah, what people would do is they would have something, maybe they would remember being with their girlfriend, flying a kite last Saturday, or,
right.
And then I would say, where do you feel that in your body? So maybe they feel it like in their left elbow, and, and then we would go to something else, this traumatic event, where do you feel it? Oh, I feel it right in my stomach. I'm feeling really unsafe right now. I'll be like, can you go back to that place in your elbow? It's called Pendulation. It's a trauma technique with the somatic experiencing where you rock back and forth between like the place that makes you happy and then kind of the more traumatic, kind of more difficult memory. You go back and forth, and it allows the rocking motion allows in your mind like a relaxing and a comfort level to grow where the person can slowly be more and more available and present to address their trauma.
Yeah.
I'm feeling really relaxed just the way he's sort of speaking and describing it all. I'm picturing it, and I'm hoping that people listening can sort of feel what you're talking about as well and taking them through that, because the feelings in the body are hugely important, and to be able to get to that calm state.
Yeah, Peter Levine, who wrote this book called Waking the Tiger back in 1997, he has a book 15 years later called In an Unspoken Voice. He was the guy who created the somatic experiencing. He describes it, he calls it titration, which is more like a chemistry term. So he describes it like there's hydrochloric acid, which is like HCl, and Lye, which is NaOH, and those are both caustic, like corrosive materials in and of themselves. But if you titrate one, as in do it one drop at a time, if you drop one in the other, drop it a little bit at a time, what happens is that like it's a little like Alka-Seltzer kind of fizzing, and then eventually it becomes salt water. And that's what kind of the trauma resolution process that the somatic experiencing attempts to with the pendulation. It's like you have to be able to learn how to contain the fear. And actually, the way that his theory goes is that trauma, the fear, and the immobility are locked together. And that's actually what's keeping people stuck. Yeah. And when I first read that, I was like, oh, this is so interesting. So what I've been doing is this circular breathing, this connected breathing that he recommends. It's where you breathe in and out of the mouth with no pause between the exhale and the inhale. It's called a connected breath because I did this whole year-long breathwork training program, and I do the connected breathing for maybe like about 5 minutes, and so I'm getting full deep breaths in my body. And then what you can do is, if there's a difficult, painful moment from your past, you can imagine yourself fleeing the scene, and actually like physically, like I would imagine my facing my grandmother and just running out of the house and slamming the door and my feet pounding on the pavement. So you actually physically feel your body running. And I found that that's actually caused releases in my body, just because what apparently with trauma, part of it is that fear and that immobility response they're stuck together, and if you could unstick the mobility from the fear, it helps a person be able to just experience the fear, and then with the titration, actually the fear just disappears, like that Alka-Seltzer effect over time.
That's interesting, because what you're talking about, I remember thinking about something else that I learned, which had to do with creating an alkaline environment in the body. And basically taking a little bit of baking soda and throwing it into apple cider vinegar. And of course it fizzes like what you said, and then it stops. You add some water to it and drink it. And it's a great way of creating an alkaline environment. And it sounds like that's what you just described. It's fascinating, rather.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely want to create an environment like that's very safe, so both externally and internally, and some people, they can do one before they can do the other. So I think just like drinking a bunch of like fresh vegetable juice, or basically eating as much fresh fruits and vegetables as you possibly can would be, that would be one way, or just exercising every day, or just purposefully being in around good, friendly people that don't stress you out. Like that's how you can support yourself in an external way. And then like internally, whatever kind of practices are nourishing, whether it's like reading a good book or watching a funny movie, or, having like a meaningful spiritual or meditation practice, like both internal and external safety feelings are important, I think, to finding resolution with trauma.